Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It's Coffee Ann on ONA and FM. Thanks for joining us on Thursday morning. It's February 13th. It's lovely outside.
Oh, yes, it is.
Rain and slush and snow and sleet and it's a lovely
New England.
day.
New England.
And we're just a hair above the freezing mark. So we're at 33 degrees, which is keeping it rain, which is stopping things from icing up. So that's a good thing. I'm Joe Callahan. That was Sue Tessier McKenzie. Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
And Bob Lauder's here as well. Hello, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you. Now, the big question is, Bob, did you get tickets for the Coral Reefer Band?
No, I did not.
You know they're coming?
Yes.
Okay.
I did not get tickets. I don't know the date. I don't know where the location is going to be.
Ask me.
Where's the date and where's the location?
Friday, August 15th at the Xfinity Center in Mansfield.
Okay.
There's the good news and the bad news.
What's the bad news?
The bad news
sold
is
out?
No, they're not. The bad news is they're not the main act anymore. Since Jimmy died,
Of course.
they're not the main act. So they're the opening act
Okay.
for the Doobie Brothers, which is also fabulous. They're great to see.
Okay. Coral Reefer Band, August 15th,
Xfinity
Xfinity.
Center. Tickets are on sale.
Now, the real question here is, are you
can
going to be buying tickets or are you sneaking through the back fence again?
You ever hear that story?
Oh,
No.
yeah. Oh, this is great.
This is like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Because I live near.
He
Great
just
Lakes.
said that
course.
because the statute of limitations
I
has
live
passed.
a mile from there. And so, yeah, I remember because it was 9 years ago I did this. And Jimmy was playing and I didn't have tickets. So I had something to do that night, whatever was going on. But I got home like around 9. I said, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to go walk around. You've been to the Xfinity Center, right?
On the outside, I'm always on the outside looking in with the limos. So.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Where the limos park, if you go to the left,
Okay.
you can go around the back.
Okay.
Okay, and people park back there. But
Yeah.
that's also where the big hill is. And so I said, I'm going to climb up the hill, and then try to get over the fence that's up top there. All right. Now it's about 9:15 at night, so it's dark, and I can hear him on stage. And he's playing along, and I started to climb up, and I'm thinking, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm a 50-year-old man in the dark climbing up a hill, not knowing where I'm going. So this is dumb. So I just came back down, and stayed on the ground level, and listened to the rest of the show.
Yeah.
In the parking lot, and it sounded just fine. And then I walked home. So there you go. I got tickets this time, Bob.
This is what he told his attorney. The real facts
Right?
of the case involved climbing over the fence, sliding down the other side, sneaking in the back. Yeah.
That sounds more
I did not do
That
that.
sounds more like Joe.
more challenging,
I didn't need to get arrested for trespassing.
right?
She believes
So,
you, man.
okay, so,
you
yeah,
have,
I
you have
did
one
not-
person here who believes
I
you.
did not. I didn't make it in that night. So
Well, there are certain things you do in life
if I was,
that you say, "What am I doing?"
what am I doing? If I was 18,
You're halfway to what you're doing, but
Yeah.
I did that in P-Town.
Yeah.
We wanted to go see the lighthouses in P-Town, and it was March, and they had snow.
Yeah.
And there was my daughter, my husband, and our son, and I said to my daughter, "Hey, come on, you want to go walk to the Race Point?" I believe it was.
All right.
I said, "You want to go walk to the lighthouse?" Well, it's snowing, okay, because we're out on the tip, and we're walking. I don't think my husband's waving to me, so we turn around and wave back.
No,
He's
pointing.
calling us. What are you people doing?
get back
So
here.
we got halfway there and said, "This is stupid."
Yeah.
And came back. So I get the stupid thought process.
Yeah, I know. You're right in the middle of it. It's like, boy, this is a dumb idea.
Wait a minute. This may be the best day ever.
Okay.
Sue is saying that she understands your stupid thought
I
process.
understand your
Sometimes-
stupidity.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
it just happens. You're right in the middle of it. It's like, but this is just so dumb.
You're right.
What I'm doing. So you turn around and you go back.
I
so.
think everybody should have what was I thinking moment, in
yeah.
their life.
Yeah. You're right.
It defines you.
But are you going to broadcast this on nationwide radio? I mean, they get
Sure.
this everywhere.
I didn't do it. I didn't get hurt, and I didn't do anything stupid. And I was able to get down the hill in the dark without any bodily injuries. I was happy with that.
Great.
So the band is coming, by the way. So
I'll have to mark this
let you
down
know.
and see what
And
my good wife wants to do that
I've already got
weekend.
my tickets, so and I've got really good seats. I'm pretty excited. Section 2 is the best
Okay.
Good.
because it goes 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So.
Now, section 2 must be under the cover.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. So I'm sure you
That's
helped
where all
out with
the
this,
rich
Bob.
people go.
Yeah, right. The Super Bowl is scoring record ratings for the second year in a row. Sunday's game on Fox averaged 126 million viewers across all the platforms that watched the Eagles beat the Chiefs. The Eagles beat the Chiefs, Bob, and that's a 2% increase over last year's game.
I watched the whole thing.
You did?
Yes.
Did you understand any of it?
I understood the Clydesdale commercial.
Oh, okay, good. That was cute with
The horse.
foal pushing the keg of beer. So, but
Did I understand the rest of it?
no.
Fortunately, they had people who were telling me
They
what
tell
was
him what was
going
going
on.
on?
Yeah, right.
Did
right.
did you ask questions?
Brady did pretty good with his
I thought he did
job.
fine.
I
You know?
didn't have your phone number, and
Oh.
asking questions to my wife and my daughter is
Didn't help?
It's like climbing the hill behind the stadium. I mean,
You know, right? The very first potential touchdown, I'm looking at that play, and I'm like, that is not a touchdown. They need to recall that. That is not a touchdown.
Yeah, his knee was down,
And it was
and
recalled.
they did. But then he got right in.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. But it was, just to say, and I thought of Bob. I thought of you. I
Right.
said, I wonder if, they're going to reverse the play, and Bob's going to wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah, why is he already scored? Why are they doing it
Yeah,
again?
no, he didn't. It was wrong.
All right, well, did you enjoy yourself watching the game, Bob?
Actually,
So
I
it comes
did.
down. Okay, well, good.
and I was on your side. I was thinking the Eagles should be the ones who win. I was
And they
amazed
were.
when they got the first 2 or 3 touchdowns, and the Kansas City Chiefs were
Did nothing.
sort of like at
Trying
another
to find a
game.
goalpost.
That's right. So, okay, keep this up for another 30 years, Bob, and eventually you'll understand the game. So there you go.
I'm not sure I want to put that much dedication into it.
All right.
Now, what's this? By the way, I hear that your brother is going to be having a sports show on Saturday morning here.
It's been gone for a couple of months now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. him and a buddy of his do the show on Saturday mornings. You should call in.
That'll be interesting.
I don't know.
And
man.
they talk sports, Bob.
They talk sports.
All the sports. You
All
gotta,
the sports.
gotta keep
And this
jumping
is your
around.
younger brother.
My younger
and
brother.
he has his own show about sports.
Yes.
Doesn't this make you feel sort of left out, behind the stadium climbing the hill? I mean,
Well,
all alone?
little bit, but
Does he ever ask you to come on as a guest or anything like that?
no, he gets his own guests.
Gets his own
Yeah,
guests
he
and
doesn't
never
even-
asks his
I've
older brother.
I've called it once or twice.
Do you
to be
disguise your
on.
voice?
No.
He knows who
No.
you are?
He had he had Marty Crowley on one time, the athletic director from Cumberland, and I had a question specifically for Marty, not really for Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I said, "Hey, it's me," and he knew who it was, and I said, "Marty, question for you," and it went towards him.
Okay.
So, and they're doing just fine.
If I had a younger brother
Yeah,
and he was on radio
Yeah.
and I had the opportunity to call in, I would
disguise-
disguise my voice. I would try to ask him the most off-the-wall
I've got-
question just to try and show that
I got better things to do with my time.
you're more confident in your sibling rivalry than
I guess so. All right.
darn.
All right. Things going on. The mayor of Woonsocket, Christopher Beauchamp, announced it yesterday. New tax amnesty program for tangible property taxes. That was the big press release from yesterday. And so what does it mean?
I don't know.
So this is what it means. To stimulate the collection of overdue tangible property taxes and/or motor vehicle taxes incurred before the 2025 tax year, City of Woonsocket will offer taxpayers an amnesty program. Under the program, taxpayers can pay the principal amount of their owed tangible or motor vehicle taxes in full without being required to pay any accumulated interest or penalties. All right. And the amnesty program will be available for just 60 days. It starts this Saturday, February 15th. It will end in 2 months, 60 days on April 15th.
Great.
So if you're looking at that big bill with all those tax penalties and interest rates and things and interest on there, that's going to go away. As long as you do it within this 2 months and just pay what you owe.
I'm glad they're encouraging people to pay up the taxes and
Yeah.
From a city point of view, giving up the amnesty, giving up the interest and penalties, that'll have an impact. But I don't expect that our budget is based on calculating that into our
Well,
income.
half of nothing
probably
is
not.
better. Half of something is better than all of nothing.
That's
so,
right. So as long as you get something coming in, right?
So
Now,
smart.
I haven't gotten a bill in a while. I used to suddenly get a bill and be like, how come I didn't get this, and now I'm behind, and now I have fees, and now I have this.
Yeah.
They can go to City Hall tax department, and check to see if, in fact, they have that, because I know a lot of people had missed bills at one point, especially, with the
Yeah.
mail situations in some cases. They can go check to see if they owe anything? Can they do that?
I think they could.
I would. I mean, it
should
doesn't
be able to tell
hurt.
you. Yeah,
Like I
right.
said, I have missed bills.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I have fees, and it's like, but I never got those bills. It's kind of infuriating, because if
Well,
I get a
yeah.
bill for 20, I'm going to pay it.
Right.
But if I get a bill for 120, now I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's why they get the big bucks down there at City
Yeah.
Hall, Sue. So remember, the tax amnesty thing starts on this coming Saturday. So, Bob, we talked with you about this. We talked with Tim Draper at Navigant about
More sports questions?
no, we talked about scams.
Oh, okay.
This just came in to my phone. All right.
Great.
Apple approval notice. We've noticed that your Apple iCloud ID was recently used. I don't have an Apple iCloud ID, but it says it was recently used at Apple Store -CA, which I understand does not stand for California. Actually stands for Canada. I've been told
Oh,
that.
really?
Yes, for $143.95, paid by Apple Pay pre-authorization. Also, some suspicious sign-in request and Apple Pay activation request detected. That looks like suspicious to us. Great sentence. That looks like suspicious to us. In order to maintain the security and privacy of your account, we have placed those requests on hold.
Great.
Very nice of them. Your photos, data, bank information, and cards are at risk. If not you, ? Talk, not capitalized. Talk to an Apple representative. Failing may lead to auto debit and charge will not be reversed. Call, and they give you a phone number, 808. I'm not sure what 808
I was just going to
is. It's gotta
say,
be-
I got
who knows
808 coming across my phone recently,
All right.
too.
Immediately to cancel this charge. Or you can go to this website. It's the billing department, and then have a great day.
I received telephone calls in the last 2 months from Rhode Island Energy, purportedly,
All right.
saying that
You owe?
I owed money,
Yeah.
and my assistant Yulia came in and said, "You don't owe money,"
Uh-huh.
and so my response was to the person on the line, "I will call your billing department to
discuss.
verify this," and not go any further with the conversation.
They say, "Oh no, don't do that."
Well, they didn't say that. I didn't give them much time to say that.
Oh, okay.
I just hung up on them.
Yeah.
And Yulia had the records that we had paid, and I did call the billing department, and they said, "You're fine. You've paid all your bills."
Okay.
But I didn't find out what the next step would be if I had acknowledged that, wow, I may have not paid one of the quarters or something like
Yeah.
that. They'd also told me that a work order had been issued to turn off my gas and electricity.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that could scare some people, I guess.
Yeah, and I was thinking at the time it would if I didn't have my good assistant there to bring in the
Showing you
records
everything, yeah.
and verify that we had really paid, and if I was more not as skeptical about it, I could have gone further and said, let's take care of this right now.
Yeah.
Although they probably would have asked for payment of a credit card.
Yes.
And you know how excited I am using my credit card. So,
Oh yeah, you're thrilled about it.
well, I'm still a guy who's looking for $2 bills. So
And have you gotten the one that says your Easy Pass is overdue or something along those lines?
Yes,
In
I don't have an Easy
Massachusetts?
Pass.
Neither do I. And I've
I
gotten that
go
text
through the
message.
tolls, and then I get the bill,
bill in
and
the
then I
mail.
go online and pay
Pay
it.
it, yeah.
Period. But
That's
no.
another scam.
Oh,
your Easy
okay.
Pass is over too, and it's such a small amount. It's like $15. So you might say, oh yeah, or, I'll just take care of it. But yeah, if you don't have an Easy Pass, and me, I'm not driving on the Mass Pike, so how could I have incurred anything? So
Yeah, right.
well, everything
away
I
it
get from
goes.
Easy Pass is in paper form and comes through the snail mail.
Well, there you go. Like so,
That's what happens to me
Yeah.
if I go through a toll.
they'll send you a bill.
Yeah.
They're good at it. They're very efficient. All right. We're going to take our first break here on the Coffee and program, and more coming your way. 766-1240 for comments and questions.
Say, let's check and see what's going on at Chan's for the Valentine's Day weekend. Well, tomorrow night, Valentine's Day night, from 8 to 10 at Chan's. Vintage vibe for modern times, not to be missed. Only 20 in advance and 25 at the door. It's Little Miss and the Boom. And then on Saturday night, starts at 8 o'clock, Fat City Band. You've seen them before. They're back again. Lead singer Paul Richmond got all the moves to get the audience engaged, and always a good time. It's Saturday night after all, huh? 20 in advance, 25 at the door at Chan's, and oh, they got great food there too. At Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket for Valentine's Day.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super-sized laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with RE/MAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first. And he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder, Sue Tesser McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call and Times newspaper. And Sue, time for our first message from the newspaper.
Good morning, everybody. I repeat myself every week that we've moved. We're across from City Hall, and people have been, stopping in pretty regularly. Of course, in weather like this, we do often work from home. I, for one, work on the road. So if there's anything that you need a back issue of the paper, you're trying to reach circulation and having trouble doing so, want to reach Christina, having trouble doing so, call me. Call my cell phone, 401-487-4136. I can meet you at the office if I'm local, because I do work all over the Blackstone Valley area, or I can at least refer you to the right number. Again, my cell phone is 401-487-4136.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. Well, let's see. A new report out says Providence is the least affordable city for renters. This is done by Redfin. They're a real estate company. And at least that's in the country, by the way, not just in the state of Rhode Island. That's least affordable city in the country because the median asking price for rent in Providence. You want to take a guess at what it is?
I can't even. It's nauseating.
Bob, you want to take a guess at what the median?
$2,000?
$2,140.
Wow.
Doesn't say what you get for that. Is that a one bedroom? Is that a two bedroom? But that's just what it is on the average. So it's $2,140. So that means in order to afford that, you should be making $86,000 a year. And the average median renter's income in Providence, slightly lower than that, at $50,408. It's just not evening out at all. And that's why you got such a homeless situation.
Of course.
I mean, look at it. You look at the numbers don't lie.
No.
Okay, well, they're balancing it then against the income of the prospective tenant, because in New York City, you read about rents being $5,000 a month.
Yeah, but look what.
But they're earning a
look what
lot
their
more
earning
money.
is, yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
crazy, huh?
Well, yeah,
All
it
right.
is. But
All right. Do you remember what it cost for your first, when you got married, your first apartment?
Yeah.
How much was
It's
it?
like $460.
Bob, do you remember?
Or $450.
All right.
I'm sorry.
my wife and I clubbed our money together and bought a house the month before we got married. So,
Really?
Good for
Oh,
you.
well,
didn't,
okay, that was smart. All right.
Well, it was expensive at the time.
Oh, for you, yeah, sure. All right. Great.
But then my brother-in-law was showing off, and he bought the house across the street, which cost twice as much. So
mine was 710, but it was also 1991.
okay.
And,
Well, I was 92.
Oh, really?
No, 91, I'm going to have to
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
It was because, we moved in there because we still live there. Mm-hmm. You know, what I'm dealing with now is, yes, rents increase. I have to be honest, we're very fortunate in comparison, which is why we stay there. Mm-hmm. And, we have a little backyard. We have off-road parking, park in the driveway, so on and so forth. Can't complain. But just recently, with my husband being in the hospital and he had some difficulties this week, somebody was talking to me saying, you should move to first floor. I can't afford to move to first floor because first floor is more. We're on third floor.
Yeah.
And my husband has, even with his disability, been able to walk up and down 2 flights of stairs.
Good.
Again, this week was a bit of a challenge. So many people have reached out, do this. Still, first, last, security.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So not an option right now.
I can't imagine what my wife and I's first apartment would go for now. I'm sure it's in that $2,000.
Well, if it's $760 in 1991,
$710, yeah. So
$710.
what do you think it is now?
It's
$3,000?
it gotta be.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the added.
It was a whole complex.
The added fact that the landlord can say, "Joe Callahan used to live here," and so that
Right.
sort of.
I
that
really don't think
raises
they
the-
use that as a selling point.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think so.
If-
Came with a pool and tennis courts, though.
Wow.
One of
That was-
those, yeah.
that was one of those. And one time we were using the pool at like 9:00 at night, and some older couple comes around, and they said, and they told us it's time to get out. We're like,
What?
Who are you?
Jeez.
Oh, well, we're in charge of the pool. No, who are you? and like, we'll get out when we feel like getting out. Oh, well, I go, there was absolutely no signs around here that
Right.
says when you can use the pool.
Right.
And it was use it at your own risk. There was no lifeguards or anything
Right.
like that. So the next day, I went down to the office. I said, who is this couple? And what kind of authority do they have? And they actually told me they don't have any. they just like to do that. So they knew about them. They just said, just appease them, tell them you're going to get out in 5 minutes, and they'll go away. Oh, all right, fine. And that's what we would do from then on. Okay, yeah, we'll leave in 5 minutes, and they would go away. So we'd stay for another half hour. But
Right.
this is the only time we can swim. It was like 9:30 at night in the summertime. So people just think they have authority.
They want to have authority.
They think they have authority over you, and you're like, always question that, right, Bob?
The gray specter has come into the room.
Oh, David. Well, if he had something to say, he'd sit down. But
Oh, okay.
I think so. There. Oh, okay. Now he's
Sent
sitting
you a
down.
text, but you're not looking at your machine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, kiddies.
Hi there, Dave.
I'm feeling like the ancient mariner here. When the fabulous Denise and I were married in 1973, our first apartment, and we splurged. It was an expensive apartment, $35 a week.
Oh my God.
What's that come up to a month?
That's $140 a month.
$140 a month.
Times 4,
And
yeah.
that was the expensive one out in Gloucester on Route 44 with the pond in the back and everything. We just decided to splurge. We'd saved up a little bit of money. After a year's marriage, we decided that driving 6 miles for milk and bread was not what we wanted to do, and we didn't think that through. So we moved into the city for $27 a week.
He was paying in colonial money, though. I mean, it was a long time ago.
plus 15 a month I had to give Nick Gatsu for a parking spot so I could get the car off the street, because in those days when Socket had a parking ban from November to March, remember that, Bob, where there was no on-street parking overnight whether there was a snowstorm or not, from November to March.
So that's
and so he
$123 a
rented
month.
me. So he
a
rented
spot.
me
Okay.
a parking spot for $15 a month.
Now, if we do the quick calculations,
It's 123.
it sounds as though he was paying more money to keep his 52 Chevy off the road
No, he's
than
not.
he was to keep he
No.
and his wife in a nice little apartment. The car was worth more than...
He went from 140 down to 123.
Dad had the 52 Chevy. I had a 54.
Okay.
Remember, I'm the young guy. So back in those days, yeah. But it was just we were young and foolish, and we'd had some money saved up, and we didn't have enough money to buy a house or anything like that. So we went to an apartment. We got a nice little 3-room apartment. It was big enough for us. It was a very nice place. But afterwards, we realized, this is no good. I mean, one time the car broke down in Chepachet, and I walked the 6 miles to where we lived near the George Washington campground on a Saturday night, Monday morning in a snowstorm.
That's
Was
at
it
least-
And
uphill
I
both
walked
ways?
it.
It's at
And
least 2 hours walk.
We did. I didn't get. We broke down around midnight. We're coming back from work, for a job, and I didn't get there till 3:30, going on 4. It was not an easy thing, especially when the plows are coming at you and you had to ditch it for
Get out of the
the
wood, jump
side
out
of the
of the way.
road. Well, they weren't expecting anybody to walking along Route 44 at that hour of the day, but I mean, I was trying to get home, and I wasn't dressed for it. I mean, kids, I look back at me, I said, well, I was pretty young for a kid. But anyway, we got through all that, but we decided to move into the city with all the conveniences.
Electricity,
All right.
indoor
Yeah.
plumbing.
All right. Well, thanks,
And,
Dave.
A fourth floor walk up was no big deal for us after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Not at
right.
all.
All right. Well, thanks, Dave.
There you go.
The police chief has arrived, so
Oh,
We'll
good.
be talking with Thomas Oates coming up relatively soon.
I'll escort Tom in.
That'd be great. And another thing I want to get to down in Bristol. Bristol man's accused of stabbing his mother and his aunt
Oh, for God's sake.
inside their home. He's facing multiple charges. They did not pass away. Police responded to a residence around 5 p.m. on Monday in Bristol, found 2 women with multiple stab wounds. They were reported in stable condition at Rhode Island Hospital. Suspect was arrested, 42-year-old Eric Squires. He was arraigned and is being held at the state prison pending other court appearances.
Wow.
And that state representative steadfast in his saying, "I am not going to resign." The one that was pulled
Yes.
over for drunk driving, who
He
says
had a medical condition.
that's what he says.
Yeah, that's
But
what I...
if you look at the body cam of the
Did you
police
get the
officer,
sarcasm in my
oh
tone?
yes, I did. And if you look at the body camera, I wasn't drinking. Okay, I was drinking, and now I'm back to not drinking. And the officer said I can smell alcohol. So,
Right.
I think it would be better for you to just you fess up and you say, yeah, I made a mistake, had too much to drink, and I'll do better, and we're moving on.
Or
Right.
take his lawyer's advice and not say anything
Don't say-
at all.
Well, when you're drunk, you're not listening
You're
to good
not,
advice.
you're not thinking, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
obviously you're not thinking, otherwise you wouldn't be driving drunk in the
Well,
first
that's
place.
right. That's right. So that's good advice, Bob. But
Keep quiet.
just shut up. Don't you watch? Yeah, you got to watch Law and Order. Do I need a lawyer?
Of course you need a lawyer.
The answer's always yes. All right. So it's time for a second message, please, from the Blackstone Valley Call-in Times. Would you like to do it live?
I just gave a message.
I know.
Anyway, sure, no problem. Again, so on the weekends, many of you know, most of you know, we no longer do a Sunday paper, even though I did have somebody call me looking for the Sunday paper. It is now the Saturday weekend edition. If you're looking for some inserts, that's the day you want them. Market Basket and different flyers are in that Sunday paper. It's also a bigger addition to the paper, so if you're looking to do any kind of advertising, we do the Blackstone Valley Homes, which is something that we're working on now to, in lieu of a home improvement section, we're encouraging people to participate in the Blackstone Valley Homes section because it is well read. and it runs weekly. You can give me a call at 487-4136.
All right, Sue, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue. We're going to take a look at the weather forecast, which is being sponsored by Compassion International.
A winter weather advisory has been posted by the National Weather Service for Woonsocket and the Blackstone Valley. Rain and freezing rain, possibly mixed with snow, and then just rain and ending later this afternoon. High of 44, winds from the east. Winds could get as high as 30 miles per hour today. And the new snow accumulation's pretty much behind us, about a half an inch altogether. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, then gradually becoming mostly clear with an overnight low of 22 degrees, west winds howling to 35 miles per hour overnight. Friday's weather, sunshine and 32, still with that west wind up to 35 miles per hour. Saturday, 70% chance of snow is likely, cloudy skies, 32, less than an inch they're thinking for an accumulation on Saturday. On Saturday night, 100% chance of more snow. They're not sure how much because it could mix over with sleet and freezing rain in the wee hours, overnight low of 26 Saturday night. Sunday, just rain, with a wind coming up from the northeast up to 25 miles per hour, high of 46 on Sunday. Sunday night, rain, ends, windy. Monday, Washington's birthday, mostly sunny, high of 28 degrees. Tuesday, sunshine and 24 for a high. And Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, a high of 27 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, where we do have cloudy skies. Chief, is it still raining?
It still is.
Still raining. All right, we got rain and we got 33 degrees. Imagine a child in extreme poverty waiting over a year to be sponsored. End their wait today. Become a Compassion sponsor. Text radio to 83393.
So Dave Richards, I'm at Coletta's Furniture, 598 Wood Avenue in Woonsocket. We told you now for the last several months how big the place is, and it's even bigger now. I'm in a room with Brad Coletta, and there's nothing in here but recliners of every make and description. Brad, tell us what we're looking at.
So what we got here is our reclining chair gallery. We got over 36 recliners in here. We have everything from rocker, small, medium, large, power lift, heat, massage. You can definitely find something that fits your needs. There's something for everyone, all different fabrics, from leather to performance fabrics. Oversized ones, as you can see right there, to the big man, to the small petite ones. So something for everyone.
At 598 Wood Avenue in Woonsocket, it's a family furniture store called Coletta's Furniture, because that's the family name. Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callan here, and I'm being joined at the coffee and table by Woonsocket Police Chief Thomas Oates. Hello there, Chief.
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good. Nice to have you with us. Sue Tester McKenzie is here as well, and Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for a first message from your law office, please.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. Last week, I delayed talking about cases mentioning the Super Bowl because I knew that Joe Callahan would be concentrating on the Philadelphia Eagles and might not pay full attention. But now I think I'm safe in talking about them. The first case is that of State v. Lopes and involves questions which a defense attorney asked in the voir dire to prospective jurors before they were impaneled as jurors. Now, voir dire is a process wherein attorneys question prospective jurors before they're impaneled to try and ascertain that the jurors are impartial to the facts of the case. In this particular case, which involved a witness identification of a defendant as the individual involved in a felony assault, the attorney asked the prospective juror, because the Super Bowl was past week, I think I'm going to start with a few football questions. As you probably know, in the NFL football games, there are a number of referees who are paid to watch each play. And they're trained to observe and to make a call on what they see, yet those same games have a video for a replay of what they've seen. why do you think they have videos if they have highly trained people to observe the plays? The juror said, well, we're all human and we can make mistakes. The lawyer said, so there are some things that interfere and cause people to make mistakes in what they see. At this point, the attorney for the prosecution objected to the line of voir dire, and the trial justice agreed with the prosecution, stating that this was argumentative more than appropriate to a closing argument, but not to the initial questions as to the capacity of a juror to understand the evidence and weigh it. After the defendant was convicted, the attorney for the defendant moved for a new trial upon the basis that the trial justice restrictions of the voir dire questions. The Supreme Court agreed with the trial justice and ruled that the purpose of voir dire is to determine whether or not a prospective juror is related to a party, has any interest in the case, or has expressed or formed an opinion that is sensible of any bias or prejudice therein. If you'd like to discuss with me legal matters, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
Bizarre question to ask the juror.
Yep, that's what the judge said.
Okay. All right, right now we got to make a drawing. It is for the Milk Fund calendar raffle. We're drawing this every day at about this time, and this one is for a $25 gift card to Target. Sue pulled out the name, and who'd you pull out? Did you pull out yourself?
Nancy Phillips.
All right, Nancy. Very good. All right, Nancy, come on down here to the station to pick up your $25 gift card to Target, and once you come down and pick it up, we put your name back into the box.
You are welcome.
And you can, and then you'll be in the running for more prizes as well. So, good job there, Nancy.
Can we start off with congratulations to the chief about his recent election?
Yes,
and can you
Police
tell
Chiefs
us what the
Association
association does?
So, Bob, the organization's been around for 75 years. It's actually this year's the 75-year anniversary, and what it is the chiefs, and I believe every chief in Rhode Island belongs, and there are some past chiefs that still remain members. We meet once a month and discuss hot-button issues that are going on in law enforcement in general and things in the state, and especially in particular legislation that would affect public safety, which we think is in a good way or a bad way. So it's a great group. It gives the chiefs the ability, it's a unique job being a chief of police. And it's to be able to have a group. It's a lot of camaraderie in it. We all have similar problems in our departments, everything from discipline to retention and hiring, and it gives the ability to bounce ideas off other chiefs, and in some cases confidentially have calls at night, which I get from different times, and I've used the same thing to call and say, hey, what's your opinion on this, or what do you think about that, or this happened in my department, this is what I'm thinking of doing, and get some advice. So it's a good sounding board, but it's a great organization.
It's great.
All right,
congratulations on being elected the leader.
Yeah.
President.
No,
All right.
President.
No, thanks. I'm very honored to represent the Chiefs this year.
All right, we got a note that was called in 766-1240, and it's to the chief. So we had the car accident on Hamel Avenue with a little 4-year-old girl did end up passing away. So the question is, what was the person who hit the mother and the child? What was he actually charged with?
He was actually charged with driving to endanger death resulting, and driving to endanger resulting in serious personal injury. Those are the two criminal charges, one being obviously for the death of the daughter, and the other is a serious injury for the mother. Those are both felony charges. He was also charged with a litany of traffic tribunal offenses, which are civil traffic offenses, which could be, one of them, just for example, was leaving the lane of travel, I believe, but there was several other motor vehicle violations, but the most serious being the criminal ones. And our accident reconstruction team investigated that accident, and after their results referred it to the Attorney General's office, who reviewed the facts of the case. They determined that was the appropriate charging for that incident.
Okay.
Now, I had trouble picturing where this actually took place. Were the mother and the daughter walking toward the Radigan Bridge or away from the Radigan Bridge?
You'd have to tell me what the Radigan Bridge.
How old are you, Bob?
I was going to say. I've been in Woonsocket. I've been in Woonsocket since 2016.
I don't know what that is.
But
I've been here since 1961. I don't know what the heck he's talking about.
It was the bridge. Okay, the bridge that is over the
Hamlet
Blackstone
Ave
River.
Bridge?
Yes,
Yeah,
that would be
was
the
named
Hamlet
after.
Ave Bridge.
Was named after, I believe, the members of the fire department who were killed in that explosion in the fire station down there. Golly, I was in the 6th grade at the time, so it was 1958, 59, somewhere in there.
Wow.
I'll make it easier for you.
Okay,
So if you were traveling out of the city of Woonsocket
Right.
on Hamlet towards Cumberland Hill Road,
Correct.
that's the direction that the vehicle was going, and that's the direction the pedestrians were walking. They were walking a short distance past the consumer's gas station on the right-hand side of the
Okay.
road.
All right.
So he was behind them and hit them from
They
behind.
were walking with their back to traffic, which
Okay.
is a problem. I mean, the
I know, you
whole
should be on the other
incident
side.
the whole incident is a tragedy. But the opposite side of the street, the sidewalk is completely cleared and and open. They were walking a foot or two into in the lane of travel on the opposite side of the street with their back to the traffic.
I just couldn't picture it, so they're walking toward the bridge or away from the bridge, and you've clarified it, toward the
Okay.
bridge. Okay.
So, it's driving to endanger with death resulting. Is that the same thing as vehicular homicide?
There's no such thing in Rhode Island as
There isn't.
vehicular homicide.
All right.
That's it. That's a death result. That's a death resulting.
Okay. Is that just a Hollywood thing?
Well, each state is. Bob will
Is
tell you
different,
each state uses different terminology
Okay.
for different laws.
So Rhode Island doesn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
and this that was an outcry in one of the other fatal accidents in the state, that for car crashes where there's a fatality involved, unless it's an intent, if you run someone intentionally over with your vehicle, that's murder.
Right. Right.
But
Okay.
if you're driving your vehicle, depending on what your level of neglect is or negligence is, or it rises to the level of recklessness or maliciousness, then that charge would be in effect.
Okay. You said there's a litany of traffic tribunals, and I remember reading in the call in the Times, in the initial investigation, and you weren't sure if speeding was a factor. Was he speeding?
Our accident reconstruction confirmed that we believe he was going more than 10 miles an hour over the posted speed limit. I won't give the exact, but they have a figure that they've come to within 1 or 2 miles an hour. They do with mechanical calculations from measurements as a result of the accident. We actually have a drone that we use now to map out the accident scene and points of impact.
Wow.
So there's a formula to that. They actually, I have horses that have gone to several trainings, and it's actually a week or 2 week long school for accident reconstruction. And really, it's a math problem. Is
Wow.
what it comes down to be.
Well, you think you didn't need math in high school, right?
No,
you
do.
do.
You find out you need
Who knows
it.
when you're gonna need it?
And even with a calculator, it's a pretty complicated process.
Formula? Wow. Okay. So, Bob, what's he looking for? Something like this, driving to endanger with death resulting, or driving to endanger with bodily injury. What are they looking at for time?
I have to defer to the chief because I haven't
I know,
had a
no
criminal
criminal.
case in 20 years.
Well, you
and-
remember the name of the bridge. So.
Well,
Right?
I believe the penalty. Don't quote me on it, but it's I believe up to 10 years. I
Okay.
believe.
Now the person that hit the couple stayed. He didn't run, right?
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean
good.
he's a working individual from Woonsocket. I mean his life's been completely changed too. I'm sure it's the last thing that he wanted to have have happen. He stayed at the scene and actually went back to headquarters with us and was cooperative through the whole time, and even to the point when I had been in contact with his attorney had been in contact with me. And offered to, if we were going to charge him, to just have him surrender himself to us, which he did.
Okay. First offense for this gentleman?
He has no prior
criminal record. Okay. It's a sad situation.
It is.
all the way around. The other thing I wanted to ask you is you've lost your deputy chief.
That's correct.
Tom Caloro took the police chief's job in Sutton. Good for him.
Yeah. No, I'm very happy for him. He's a great guy. I wish him the best.
Yeah.
He's getting settled in. He's getting settled in Sutton, Mass. He's going to do a great job there. They're very lucky to have him as a chief.
Big difference from Sutton, Mass, from Woonsocket, though.
Yeah, a little bit different from what I understand. Yeah, he's going to. I guess it's a 19-person department in a pretty rural area. Rural area. I don't think they.
You can get lost out there very easily.
Yeah. A lot of nice lawns. That's what I understand.
Yeah,
So that was brought up at the swearing in.
Does he golf?
I know I told him if he
Pleasant
didn't.
Valley's right there.
Right there.
No, I told him that if you don't golf, you should start taking lessons because you can.
You're right there.
You can meet a lot of nice people on golf courses.
So what does it mean for you? Do you get to? Does he get replaced?
Yes. Right now, there's a resolution that's coming up that will be asking for before the city council for a contract for Captain Adam Remick, who will be his replacement.
Okay.
Because of the fact that the captains are the last rank that's in the union. So with the fact the deputy chief's position and I have a contract and the deputy chief Caloro had a contract, it adds stability to the position that it's a guarantee for 3 years he'll have the position.
Okay. I know Bob's going to get to court, so we'll get back to you there, Bob, for a second message, and then you can get on over to there.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. The second case I'd like to discuss you this morning is the case of State versus Kettle, and confirms a well-established principle of criminal law. The case began on Super Bowl Sunday in 2002, when the defendant and his then-girlfriend entered a bar in West Warwick to drink beer and play pool. After losing several pool games, a verbal exchange and altercations alleging cheating and racial slurs against the girlfriend were exchanged. The defendant was alleged to have shown a sheath knife to another. The defendant was asked to leave the bar, and he did so. Last call at the bar was at around 12:30 a.m., and one of the participants, who had consumed roughly 15 beers but was not visibly intoxicated, and his friends exited the bar, and was confronted by the inebriated defendant in the parking lot. An allocation took place, and the defendant was arrested and charged with felony assault. The issue before the Supreme Court was the instructions given to the jury by the trial judge. The Supreme Court confirmed that the defendant has no burden to prove that he acted in self-defense. It's the responsibility of the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant did not act in self-defense. The burden of proof in a criminal case does not rest upon the defendant. It always rests upon the prosecution, and it never shifts during the course of the trial. The defendant is under no obligation to prove anything or to present any evidence. If you'd like to contact me concerning legal matters, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
Did you say the defendant had 15 beers and wasn't drunk?
No, it wasn't the defendant. It was one of the other participants who had 15 beers and exhibited no signs of intoxication.
Don't you think that
is
would kill
one
somebody?
strong guy.
Right?
Depends on the size of the individual and the period of time. Over what period of time?
Well, he's probably not Andre the Giant, but
Right,
That's
but
quite-
still.
Wow.
That's quite a bit of beer.
jeez.
Figuring the bar's open, say 4 to 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of beers.
That's a lot of beer. All right, Bob, thanks for coming in this week.
Thank you for inviting me.
Appreciate it.
Hope to see you next week.
All
Great
right,
to see all of
very
you.
good. We'll take a break here in the Coffee and Program. More coming up. Stay tuned.
Every winter, the state of Rhode Island prepares for the winter season, and we want you to be prepared as well. At the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency, our top priority is keeping everyone safe, so we want to remind you to be prepared for the ice, cold, and snow. Keep an emergency supply kit, have a communications plan, and stay informed. Find more information at riema.ri.gov or visit us on social media. Brought to you by the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Paul Lavalley. I'm a Knight of Columbus with Woonsocket Council 113. Our annual Palm Sunday breakfast is April 13th at Good Shepherd School Gym, 1200 Mendon Road, Woonsocket. Tickets are $15. Children 5 to 11 are $10. Under 5 are free. Menu consists of scrambled eggs, home fries, baked beans, French toast, sausage, coffee, and juice. Tickets can be purchased at St. Joseph's Rectory or any member of the Knights of Columbus. My phone number is 401-651-5533. Thank you for your support.
It's Coffee In here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Sue Tester McKenzie. Woonsocket Police Chief Thomas Oates is with us, and Bob Lauder had to go because he had to get to court. So what you were saying about replacing Tom Caloro as Deputy Chief, the Woonsocket City Council has to approve?
Well, they approve they have to
contract,
they
not
approve
the
a
person.
contract, not the person. No,
I see.
But it all goes hand in hand. I mean, before years ago there weren't contracts, and so it's just the appointment by the mayor, with approval of the mayor and the public safety director. But they're involved in the process, and they've been great. City council's very great, very cooperative. I mean, I've made it known that's who I wanted, and the mayor is in full agreement with it, as well as I know I've spoken to some of the city council members, and they're all in agreement with it. And he's a great guy, and he's going to do a great job.
Do you do like a interview process?
No, not at this time. I've been there for 16. I've been there for 9 years, work on a daily basis with the people there, so I have an idea who I want.
Okay, well, great. We had a note that was called in, 766-1240, to the chief. On Robinson Street, when are the no parking signs going back up?
I'll have to check on that. I didn't know there were parking signs that were taken down or missing. I know we tag that. That's a frequent area of complaints, but I know that we tag it. So, but Robinson's a long street. If that person's still listening, if they would call back with more specific area on Robinson, that would be helpful.
Okay. We were talking off air, just because we're in the winter time here, and it's just when parking bans go into effect, somehow the complaints come back to you, even though
it all comes back to us, basically. Yeah.
It's your fault.
No, I mean, it's frustrating for us because the parking bans go out well in advance through social media or all different media. You have to have your vehicles off the street so the DPW can do with the work that they need to do. It's a difficult job for DPW clearing the streets, but they do a great job. We work hand in hand with them. On occasions where we do come into vehicles that are parked illegally during it, we try and have the owners move those vehicles so we don't have to tow them. It's very laborious for us to do that, as well as the tow companies, and it's time consuming. So we just as soon have people obey what needs to be obeyed and keep the streets clean because it's a public safety issue. If the streets are not cleared, and you get more snow or colder weather, it's a bad situation. So we just ask people to cooperate. There is a plan through the city. If you don't have a place to park, it's on the website. You can pay $25 for the season, and it allows you to park in municipal lots during that storm. So the excuse of I don't have a place to park my car is not a good excuse. There's other options that are offered to people out there.
All right, the person did call back, Chief, and just says on Robinson Street is near the school.
Okay.
That they're have concerns with.
With regard to the parking ban, I can remember years ago when we had a lot more snow and cars were parked in the street, didn't get towed, might have got ticketed, but didn't get towed. The mess that leaves behind is crazy.
Yeah.
Because now they have to clean their cars in the road.
Yeah.
The plows have to go around, so you got that big pile. Oh, there was some times, boy, I'll tell you, it was absolutely horrible, and people couldn't walk anywhere. I mean, you had to go half and half road, sidewalk.
That's the
back
thing.
and
It's
forth.
pedestrian.
It was crazy.
It's the issue with pedestrians and that too. So no, there's a reasoning behind it. It's a big expense for the city to have to do the plowing and the work that they do. We would all hope for better weather.
Let's do it right.
We would
Get it
all
done
hope
right.
for better weather, but
Right.
like you said, if you're going to do it, you want to do it once and get it
That's
done
right.
right.
All right, so I saw this happen on the Truman bypass coming up to Clinton Street, and I'm in the right-hand lane because I'm going to take a right onto Clinton, and there's a car in the left lane. Although if I'm going to give them a break, they did have Florida plates on, so maybe they just weren't aware. But and I'm a few car lengths behind them, and the light goes green, and they're in the left lane, and they take a right. I'm like, are you sure? Right in front of the police station.
Do you want to do
that
this?
Right, that you want to do that. And then they got over in the right-hand lane on Clinton, and when I took my right, I got over into the left-hand lane, and now I'm going to pass them, and now he starts moving over into the left-hand lane because he wants to take a left at some point. Luckily, he saw me and moved back over and then get in behind me. But do you run into a lot of
no, but
situations at that corner?
Well, it's just the fact. You're right. What happens when socket can be very confusing to people who aren't here, as most cities are. So it's not familiar with the street. So we ask people to watch for the other motorists too. If someone's intentionally, not trying to cut you off or driving crazy, but just you can, most times you can tell when someone's going slow that they don't know where they're going. They don't know where they're going. They're confused. So be a little patient and give them a little space. But we haven't had any issues with that traffic pattern that I'm aware of yet. People are still getting used to it. But that was all. People have to realize when those things are done, even the rotary and there's engineering that goes in behind that, and they do traffic counts and they look at what the traffic count is and how and the time of the day of vehicles, so that the design is for a good purpose, because that's the idea too. It's not all traffic enforcement; it's engineering and education that's educates the motoring public as well as the engineering to have the roads be safer and people drive better.
A couple of times I've seen the Woonsocket police car there with its lights on and it's blocked off, going from the rotary to Clinton. What are they doing on the street at that time?
A lot of it was the last finish-up work was the lighting that was being done.
Lighting and planting those trees. That's what I saw. Those delays.
Yeah, it's a narrow, and it's just too narrow for that one lane. So for the safety of the workers, for that they just keep it closed. And it didn't impact downtown at all, because in fact,
it impacted me.
Well, I knew it was coming, and even one morning coming in, went around and it's there, and I may continue on the roundabout and go back up to Main Street, take the right, and you're there within no time.
Okay, there was a story in the Call and Times just a couple of days ago, where a real serious situation where you went into Woonsocket, not you personally, but the police went into Woonsocket High School to arrest a student there, accused of hitting another student on Elm Street, possibly with a pistol, and they confiscated a rather large knife on him as well. Will that person be going back to will he be allowed back into the high school?
Those are decisions that the school department makes that we don't weigh in at all. The incident that he was charged with didn't happen in school. Happen in school. So
but he's got a weapon on him in school.
Right, but they have policies with that too, that they're charged. But I don't know what their policy is as far as that goes. Whether they throw them out. They've got certain obligations to educate people, even if they've had things. So that's a question for the education department. Luckily, that's one thing I don't have to deal with.
Okay. You must have run across the situation before with this, with the victim who didn't want to tell you guys anything, and you basically got the story from his parents and his sister.
Yeah, no.
And cameras.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is is a fear factor, I assume, and part of it is the still don't snitch aspect of it, whatever it is. But if we have independent witnesses and we have other information, even if that witness isn't cooperative, we can go ahead and charge, and that's what we do.
Okay. Any other questions, Sue?
No.
Overall, things going well. I mean, you're always looking for new police officers.
No, I got 4 recruits in the academy right now, and
great.
My understanding is that they're all doing well. So I'm very happy with that, and we're constantly recruiting. So if anybody's interested, you can go on our website. There's an application that you can fill out and let us know. And there is an academy that will be coming up in July, and I am right now. I'm at 95 officers, and depending on what the budget is, I'm normally budgeted at full strength for 101, actually 105, counting the 4 SROs, which are funded by the school department. So if I get that funding, I ideally would like to identify 6 to 8 more candidates for the July Academy.
Now, is the problem that they can go work there and make X dollars versus here and make only X dollars? Is that the biggest problem?
That's a big problem right now, where officers they come in, they get their basics, they're hired by me, get their basic training,
Yeah.
pass what they need to pass, and then after a year or so, they decide they're going to go to South Kingston, or they're going to go to Warwick, or they're going to go to another.
Because they
another
can make more money.
They make a lot more money. Yeah. So it's a problem, and the Chiefs are trying to grapple with it, and even the leagues of city and towns are talking about it now. Whether there's be some penalty assessed to that receiving town. Won't be the officer, but that town that receives that trained officer will have to pay the town losing it X amount of dollars that were expended in the training process. So that's something that's in the works right now with the League of Cities and Towns.
All right. Well, we've run out of time, so we're all done with the program today. So thank you very much for listening in. Our thanks to Bob Lauder, who joined us earlier. And Chief, thanks for joining us today.
It's always nice to see you folks. Have a great day,
always
everybody.
Great having you here. And Sue, thanks for coming in today as well.
Have a good rest of the week. And for those that forgot, tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
Oh, we forgot to ask Bob.
Just saying, we forgot to ask Bob what he was getting his wife. You know, I had a whole slew of stuff I was going to discuss, but yeah.
We always, because Bob always forgets Christmas.
Oh, boy.
And he was asking us for Christmas ideas.
Yes.
He would have been asking us for Valentine's Day
And I kept telling
ideas.
him, don't listen to Joe. Don't listen to
great
Joe.
ideas.
Don't listen to Joe.
All right, have a great day. Drive safe out there. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do your members next at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Rhode Island's chief federal judge is under fire from the White House